Right.
But he's got Noble Hierarch, Tarmogoyf, and Van Meter just has a Tarmogoyf. So it was kind of like, you want to block, you're just going to chump block.
Okay, the player's card.
If you want to swing back, I've got my own Tarmogoyf that you're going to run into. So they put Ricky Hayashi drops the trophy in front of the players between them, and says, "Here's what you're playing for."
Like, get this out of the way.
Yeah.
I don't want to look at that until I win it. And these guys are in it to win it.
Here's quite an interesting fact, which I hadn't thought of. Cold Eye Selkie also gets the +1/+1 bonus from Alex's Lord of Atlantis.
That is a really interesting point. Now, it's not in his main deck, I don't
Right,
believe, so...
but it is something that
after
he can
game one, that is very
grab,
relevant.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet for AJ. AJ starts off with a Savannah and a Noble Hierarch, and Alex follows up with an island.
So, keep watching. We will be giving away 1 year of premium to one lucky winner who tweets the correct answer to the question that we will present you with in between game 1 and 2. So keep watching, and you could win 1 year of premium for StarCityGames.com. Meanwhile, AJ plays a second Noble Hierarch and a third Noble Hierarch.
Well,
Says he is all in on the Noble Hierarch Exalted plan and in for 3.
Tarmogoyf beats for 3.
That's not a Tarmogoyf. That's
Might
a
as well
Hierarch.
be.
Yeah. At this point, Tarmogoyf
That's
would...
a turn 2, 3, 4. That is pretty powerful.
Yeah. Turn 2 hasty 3/4 if you want to think of it that way.
Yeah, right?
Not necessarily that it came out on turn 2, but there is a Coral Helm Commander, which is a pretty good card on its own. But at the moment, I think AJ's content to beat with Hierarchs.
Yeah.
A single Hierarch, that
Yeah.
is, while the others kind of cheer the attacker on.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when now that'll give. Now the Coral Helm Commander will have flying shortly.
Assuming it doesn't chump block, which I don't expect to be the case.
It's not for a turn or 2.
Yeah.
And
that
it
is
can
obvious.
fly over AJ's team, which is very relevant. But
It's just, depending on whether or not Alex decides he wants to level it up, too.
right. Oh my goodness. AJ just played
Natural Order.
And Alex removed the days.
He's forced to force.
Yes.
That, I think it's about the best he can possibly hope to do right
He
now.
went all in right there.
Yeah, AJ's just being super aggressive right here.
Now he's going to beat for 2.
So there's a Reejery.
Two Merfolk Lords. One not active yet.
Yeah, has to level up entirely to
Right.
be considered a lord, I guess.
Right.
He's an apprentice lord for the moment, learning from the Reejery, I suppose. Although if the Reejery wasn't there, he'd still be on his way to becoming a lord if Alex so wanted it. So here we go. AJ looks like he is about to drop a Kasali Pride Mage. This is looking like standard Bant from a couple months ago, besides the dual lands, right? The Natural Order also kind of doesn't look like standard Bant, but I mean, looking at the board state right now, besides the lands, it's just like exalted all over the place. Alex already at 11 life, and he's got Island, Mutavault, Coral Helm Commander, and Mirror Reejery.
I feel like it's necessary. Okay, let me get this action here. So he's gonna activate a Mutavault.
Yeah, well, he's trying to figure something out here. Definitely kept 2 islands. Maybe he was trying to do a whole lot of action at once. Maybe he's leveling up the Coral Helm and.
I guess the second Reejery, yeah, it is.
Can't even
there
see it underneath there. Totally blending in, and underneath the watermark there's a second Mirror Reejery in play. Didn't even see that coming out of his hand.
Yeah.
I was so intent on watching what he was doing with those Mutavaults.
Alex Vaught.
Yeah.
Despite AJ's early start, he seems to quickly be falling behind here.
I mean, he went really all in on the
He did go all in
on the natural order, trying to see if trying to get that going, but he still has quite a board state right now. So there's a Swords to Plowshares for the Merrow Regery, and
now he's going to activate the Mutavault and swing with the Mutavault and the Coral Helm Commander, swinging for 6. So what do we got here? So Gosali Pride Mage attacks for 4 right back at him.
for 5.
For 5?
Isn't that 3 exalted triggers?
Oh, it has its own exalted trigger too. Correct.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I just thought maybe I was missing something myself.
I was missing something. Sorry.
It's all good. So, Alex at only 8 life, and you know, it's not that not looking too shabby on his side of things either. AJ at 11, and let's see, does he? So he activates both Mutavaults. He's just going all in aggro here.
Swings with the whole team.
Yeah. So there's 2, 8, 11 there. Looks like a full 11.
Seems that way.
Am I doing the math there correctly?
3, 6, 9, 11.
AJ obviously can't just let it in.
Right. Of course not.
I mean, he can if he really wants to go to game 2, but alright, so he blocks a
Plus the Coral Helm, and he's going to take 8 damage and go to 3.
alright, and there's
That's
a wasteland for his tropical island.
Pretty significant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looks like he might just be overwhelmed here.
Yeah, things looked pretty crazy for AJ in the early turns, but at this point, he was really against the wall.
I just want to point out for the people at home who may be watching and maybe with a casual interest in Legacy, maybe think that, I mean, you know, a lot of people think that Legacy is a very, like, combo dominated, like, it's kind of a, I think it's a misconception about Legacy that it's a very combo dominated format. I mean, now AJ, like, obviously runs a combo in his deck, but right now, you know,
He's playing beatdown.
he's, well,
Oh,
I mean,
he's playing defense. He
right
wants to play
now.
beatdown right now.
Right, but he was just beating down with, you know, Pride Mages. There's a Terravore. You know, we've got creatures versus creatures in the finals here.
Yeah. Tribal strategy on Alex's side.
It just rotates every week.
Everything on Alex's side of the board, besides the land he just played, has just been printed in the last few years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like since Lorwyn Block, right?
Right. Not in his graveyard, but
No,
you know.
no, I just meant on his side
Right.
of the board before he played that Mistress Factory. So it's not like everything you have to play. You know, it's not like you need tons of old cards. You can just play a bunch of islands and, you know, Merfolk, get some Lords of Atlantis, which again, even those have been reprinted. They're not super expensive cards, and you can be, you know, playing viable Legacy decks.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're gonna do a 1 year of StarCityGames.com premium for the winner who answers our question. Do you have a question?
I can come up with one right now. I have one kind of in my head.
Cool.
All right, so this is, if you've been watching all weekend, you've heard us talk a lot about one particular player who has made several top 8s now in the last few weeks, and one of our questions actually was related to that player. So, what is the player's name who has made now 4 top 8s in the last 3 Star City Open Series weekends? So tweet the answer, hashtag SCG Premium, and you can win 1 year of premium to StarCityGames.com. Pretty easy, just one random winner. And
It's
I will.
flying in.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot of people have been paying attention. It's a good thing.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna tweet the question anyway.
So after taking game one here, both players are preparing to sideboard. Seems almost automatic that AJ would bring in the Cold Eye Selkie.
Wow, yeah, I mean that's a huge advantage right there. If he can land that and connect with it several times, which he shouldn't have too much trouble connecting, considering it's island wall.
Sorry, he also has Luan.
Luan is a pretty big trump, and he's got 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Sower of Temptation, you know, not a terrible sideboard card to bring in here. There are targets for it, for sure.
Crows and Grip could quite possibly take out Aether Vials, but I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know if it's necessary. It might be a little excessive.
Yeah, you don't want to completely change. You know,
Of course, I just lisped there by accident. Of course, he could possibly set in Pithy Needle to stop the level up on Coral Helm Commander. I mean, I'm just thinking.
Yeah, just thinking outside the box here. I don't know that any of that's so worth it. You know.
No, probably not.
I think for me, you want to bring in some more versatile answers. Luan being a very nice catch-all. Cold Eye Selkie being a great way to just, you know, again, I keep using the phrase bury his opponent in card advantage, but that's what it does alongside those exalted triggers.
That, yeah.
Cold Eye Selkie being a huge card against anybody playing islands alongside those exalted triggers. So he's playing the Hierarchs, he's playing the Kasali Pride Mages. He may end up deciding to how many Pride Mages are in his main deck?
In his main deck, we have
one. Just one. Okay, so he's just playing. That's just one. But still, he's got the Hierarchs in there to bring the beats with the Selkie and really draw a lot of cards. And Sower of Temptation seems like a decent idea because being able to nab a creature from Alex's side of the board while also grabbing playing a creature of his own could either increase quite an increase in pressure for AJ as opposed to Alex taking away some of that pressure. So it's both defensive and offensive star there. Mm-hmm. But although notably Alex is also playing Sower of Temptation. Take a look at Alex's.
Yeah, I didn't have just list up.
So he's also got one Sower in his sideboard along with Back to Basics. Back to Basics actually, non-basic lands don't untap during your controller's untap phases. That could be huge. That could be huge. So that's
now to be fair though, he has the Noble Hierarch, so he could play around that pretty easily.
Well, he could play around it. It would still cripple him.
It would.
I think.
I guess that would give him basically 4 lands in his deck.
It's just really like he'd need the Hierarchs to play around it. Seems good.
Submerge seems automatic.
Yeah, Submerge is good.
GT probably isn't a bad idea.
He's got his own Luans.
If those are actually, he might even bring those in because it's for opponents. He could use it to trump another Luan, or he could use it to get rid of Progenitus.
Right.
Absolutely.
Who knows how his GT, he's fighting against creatures.
Seems like a good way to.
Saw the power of the GT earlier, where it was just sitting there laying on the battlefield, and other creatures were just still somehow tripping on it and dying.
Yeah.
That was the joke.
Pretty funny.
Wasn't even in any of the creatures' hands. It was just sitting there and somehow killing creatures.
Okay, so here we are. Game 2. Oh, pardon me. AJ leads off with a Verdant Catacomb into a basic forest. Probably my second favorite forest.
Nice John Eve on Hinge. And a Noble Hierarch.
And to the turn 1 Hierarch. Alex has the island. Passes back.
It's all unhinged lands all the time right now. And
Sure is.
there's a ponder from AJ. Take a look at this real quick.
Oh, sure. Man, Alex has had a lot of second place finishes too. Now look at this. He's won one standard open with Jund. He's finished second 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
Yeah, with both across Legacy and Standard, but once with Jund, once with Rug, or twice with Rug. I'm sorry, 3 times with Rug. Sorry, and once with Merfolk in Legacy.
He was 12th the one time with Rug.
Oh, did I cover that up?
Yeah, or something.
Second.
Okay, so Alex has played a Coral Hunt Commander, and AJ
No, 3 times with Rug.
plays another Noble Hierarch and Dryad Arbor.
Like, we don't use partial perishing, just one free ticket mulligans for everyone. Mulligan normal afterwards. Once you've set the building hands,
I don't even know what you're talking about. Alright, so
AJ is going to search up a tropical island off of his flooded strand. And he's going to play Luan. If that resolves, that could be pretty brutal. And he's not trying to let that resolve, it looks like.
seems like a fair. I mean, it's a must counter. I mean, Alex loses basically.
Yeah.
The one stays in play.
Yeah,
Alex
and
loses.
I realized when I was talking earlier, he can't even play a Luan to trump the Luan.
Right.
Like, he can't even legend rule it because he can't
Right.
even cast it.
Can't cast. Can't play blue
Yeah.
spells.
So if AJ sticks one, it's basically game over.
Yeah.
I mean, he can get the Mutavaults down.
Yeah, that's about it. Not such a scary deck when you're like, I'll play against your Mutavaults, and that's all that you have active.
Yeah.
Possibly some equipment for the Mutavault, maybe. You know,
Right.
we were looking at
And
Alex's
Alex-
list, and he does have
AJ
Alex
drops
Chite.
Luan again, and
Oh.
it resolves.
Is that
And here comes
Unbelievable.
Dryad Arbor in for 3.
and Alex can't play blue spells.
Well.
in his mono blue deck.
This is awkward.
So here we go. Is that as an
It's
Aether Vial
Aether
that will help him get around. So
It's pretty good.
timely answer to Luan.
And a Wasteland.
Now, it's a heck of a trump. Trump for a trump. That's what we've been seeing all weekend.
Yeah.
Where you see somebody land a spell when you think that's game over.
Yeah, man.
And there is the trump. Still going to slow him down a little bit. He's only going to be able to play 1 creature per vial he has in play.
True. It's
For
gonna
the
mean
moment,
it
it's
is
just
gonna
1.
slow significantly.
And AJ with the Tarmogoyf, so I see instant, land, sorcery, creature. I think it's a 4-power Tarmogoyf.
Seems about right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Luan. Luan only stops blue creature spells. I
Right.
left that word
That's
out.
true. Creature spells.
But I mean, in his blue creature deck, sorry. Luan, sorry, let me start that over. Alex can't play blue creature spells in his blue creature deck.
That seems like a problem for him.
So did he wasteland the targeting a Windswept Heath? Submerge on the
Oh, in response, in response to him cracking the Wasteland, he
Or cracking the
submerges
Windswept Heath.
The Windswept Heath.
he submerges Luan.
That's what I
That
was
was
saying.
that
got
was
too
a
excited.
great play. Yeah, I know. Just talking ahead of yourself. So basically, what happened there is Alex uses wasteland targeting windswept heath. AJ naturally says, "I'll just crack the heath to fetch a land," and in response, Alex plays submerge to put Lawan on top of AJ's deck and says, "Continue to fetch."
And he draws the Lawan. Are you kidding me?
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Whoa, okay, so wait a minute. Let me look at AJ's deck again. How
He
many
had
Lawan?
2.
I was gonna say I thought he only had
He has 2.
and one was
He
in the
He
graveyard.
got shuffled up and he drew it again. That is amazing. I tend to do
Wow.
that with White Sun Zenith, but again, like I said earlier, it's because I only run as a one-off.
Yeah, that was your problem with Sajiri's step, right?
I was talking about that earlier with Drew.
You draw the card that you want to
Playing
search
against
for.
Travis like twice in a row, and like I play it, I shuffle, he cuts, I draw it. I drew it 3 times one game.
Unbelievable.
not-
Yeah, but
it's not
that
even right.
that was freaking crazy.
That was
we saw
great.
we saw
Must be
Lawan.
nice, AJ. Now,
But just think about that. This was just like huge trump, right? Lawan, right? I need to counter that, so he force of wills it. AJ goes back to AJ. Second Lawan, that one resolved. Looks like Alex is in deep trouble.
you think he's just
Alex-
commiserating with AJ right now by blowing his nose while AJ
He may
blows
be
his nose?
faking the nose blowing.
He's making him feel better.
Yeah.
He's like, look, I'm sick too, see?
So Alex then drops an Aether Vial, which kind of trumps the one to some extent. It does slow. Alex is still slowed down quite a bit, but the Aether Vial comes down and kind of laughs a little bit at Lawan. Still wants to deal with Lawan. Pulls off a pretty tricky play there, where he says,
Yeah.
"I'm going to wasteland your fetch land." Which
Yeah.
is just like, really, you're going to waste my fetch land? Crack it, right? Usually, when a player makes a play that looks that bad, you almost want to be like wary, right? So okay, so you waste my windswept heath. So okay, it does. Maybe that would have been a better play, but like a master. So AJ falls for the trap that Alex is setting, cracks his windswept heath. In response, Alex goes submerge on Lawan, puts her on top of your deck, continue to fetch. So AJ has to shuffle the Lawan away. Shuffles Lawan away. Alex cuts. AJ draws. Lawan. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty good blind top deck, says Gavin. It is no time spiral.
Yeah, that was a pretty hot one.
Unfortunately, I did not see that match yet. I
That's
missed
right.
it while it was live, and I wasn't able to catch it when it came up on the archives, but I'm going to be watching that as soon as I go home.
Yeah, definitely.
That was one of the things I was more excited about. I just couldn't, I by the time they went up later in the week, I just couldn't, I didn't have an opportunity to watch it. Why didn't AJ just let the land die? I don't know. I mean, you just kind of feel like naturally you want to crack that fetch land.
Right.
Yeah, I know. Gavin actually has kind of an answer for that, saying AJ let it resolve because he still had such a commanding position, even if Alex did submerge.
Right, that's a very good point. Bryce, I think, said that it was another. It wasn't. It was the exact same one that he shuffled away. One was in the graveyard.
Right. Well, did I say another, or did somebody else say another?
No, it was. I think he was. I think that
I meant he just
Chino
dropped
Marino
Lawan.
was correcting Bryce.
I see. Okay.
I didn't quite see what Bryce wrote, but it's tough to keep up with the Twitter during the top 8. Not only because we're trying to cover the top 8, but because of the people pouring in the responses to
Yeah,
the
premium question. right?
yeah. So a lot of stuff gets lost. Like if you have something important to say to us, definitely don't say it in the first 5 minutes after we give you the question.
Yeah.
Because we're never gonna see it because it just gets buried in Edgar Flores's, in this case. So in case, spoilers, if you didn't know the answer to the question, there it is. Feel free to chime in, Noyan.
I think Noyan hasn't written in a while.
He hasn't, he might be asleep. It is an hour later over there, and he does go to school.
Oh, it feels so good, AJ. Like,
Maybe Alex is just mocking AJ. I saw him just cough into his sweater.
I think he's trying to say that
Okay,
AJ's getting
no one's
sick.
watching.
Noyan chimes in with 4 consecutive top 8s, which lets us know that Noyan is indeed watching.
He's controlling us all day with how many top 8s that Edgar Flores has had. Just randomly just tweeting that.
That's funny. That's very
So, all right, these guys are going to Game 3. This is a pretty exciting finals match. If you're just joining us, I'm Joey Pasco here
I'm Big
covering
Head Joe.
I'm Joey Pasco. This is Big Head Joe. We're here covering.
Points to me.
Yes, I did point. We're here in Memphis, Tennessee, covering the finals match of the legacy portion of the StarCityGames.com Open Series between two known faces on the StarCityGames.com Open Series tournament trail, I suppose. We've got Alex Bertoncini on the left and AJ Sacher on the right, and we've got a Merfolk versus Natural Order Bant matchup. Alex just tried to do land a turn 1 Aether Vial, and AJ Force of Willed it using Force of Will as the other blue spell to remove. Alex now on turn 2 lands at least attempts to land a Coral Helm Commander, and AJ lets that resolve.
Oh yeah, somebody did point out that Alex is actually sick too. He coughed into his sideboard earlier in another feature match. I actually remember
that's
someone
right.
tweeting about that.
Right. So there's a Merfolk Sovereign for Alex. AJ cracking the Windswept Heath in response.
He's going to find the Savannah. And it seems as though... I was going to say, it seems as though he might want a swords there.
Yeah, I was pretty confident that's what he was headed for. Didn't want to point out what was in his hand though, because
Right.
it is pretty quiet in here again. So we're going to watch what we say as far as what's in players' hands.
Sure.
A second swords comes down for the Merfolk Sovereign. And Alex is left with just 3 islands, but a Lord of Atlantis comes down, and AJ has that 1 island, so could be significant in a bit.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so here
Of course,
comes...
that Lord of Atlantis does not have Island Walk. It's the other Merfolk that get Island Walk, so...
AJ needed a land drop there. So he plays out the
Hierarch. And Alex in with the Lord of Atlantis and drops an Aether Vial.
Okay, so I see.
Yeah, I think go with
Yeah, we're gonna get the swords going down there.
sword number 3 from AJ for Alex's Merfolk, and that time for a Lord of Atlantis.
Looks like that.
And
Yep.
a Tarmogoyf coming down for AJ. Pass the turn there.
Fairly large Tarmogoyf right now.
Well, notably, none of those creatures are in the graveyard. That were they were all removed
that's
from the
a good
game.
point. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's
So
not
there is
as
no
large
creature.
as it's just that's only one.
there were just so many things removed from game, but there is an
Yeah.
artifact in there.
Yeah, there's artifact, instant, land, and that's
yeah,
it. So
no
it's
board, no sorcery. So
a 4 power with the exalted trigger.
yep,
But Alex has gained some life. So he's
Quite a bit of
down
life,
to
yeah.
22 now after being hit with a 4 power Tarmogoyf. And here comes a Pithing Needle from AJ.
probably naming
Aether Vial might be a
seems about right.
good call. Yes, he says I will name it and also point to it, so the guys doing the coverage will know exactly what I mean without having to ask Rashad to
Thank
ask
you,
the spotter.
AJ,
Yeah.
for pointing to the card.
Absolutely. And there's the wand from Alex.
And that protects him from Luan, which is pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome. So AJ says sure. And the Virgin Catacombs, and in with the Goyf again. Alex down to 18 now. Not too bad.
Yeah, not after 2 swings from a fairly large Goyf. He's gonna crack back with Luan. He's sure not gonna chump block with it. yet.
Yeah, not yet, right? So there's a
Marrow Reedry.
Marrow Reedry. I was going to call it Merfolk Reedry. I don't know why. I guess because it already starts with M-E-R. I think it's and it is a Merfolk. There's a brainstorm from AJ.
Yeah, and Cold Eyed Selkie can't be played now either. That's a
Not
good
while
point.
Lawan's chilling out down there.
Yep.
There's cephalids. They just don't like Merfolk. They don't get along. I mean, apparently they get along, depending on who's controlling them. They don't get along with opposing. So the brainstorm resolves. I believe that Goyf is still only a 3/4. Becomes a 4/5 on the Exalted trigger, but I don't think we've seen any other card types added to the graveyard. But that Exalted trigger will add to its power.
Sure will.
So it'll be a 5/6, considering or assuming it resolves, and it does. That Hierarch does. So how big is the Goyf? It's a 3/4, getting 2 Exalted triggers.
This is a very close game.
And looks like if Alex is down to 13, we're correct on that. I think, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, all he has to do is be able to drop a Merfolk every turn to, or well, actually, he would have to. I guess he would have to vial it in.
What are you checking? Oh, right. Play a Merfolk every turn to tap the Tarmogoyf.
Yeah.
Yes. Tap or untap target permanent whenever you play a Merfolk spell. You may.
Well, oh, it's when you cast though, so he can't do it on instant speed. Flash ones.
The vial doesn't do it. Is what you mean?
Right, exactly. That's what I meant.
So Alex beating back with the Cephalid and Merfolk combination there. He can't vial it because the Pithing Needle's on vial. You know?
Oh.
Remember? I mean, they're kind of hidden down there.
Yeah.
But, just saying.
Okay, he's going to submerge the Goyf. That will take it off the board for a turn. Keep it from swinging. Buy him some time to regain.
Did he do it? He did it in response to a fetch? Yeah, he must have. It was, Verdant Catacombs. Verdant Catacombs got cracked, and Alex, again, smartly goes with Submerge in response to the fetch to
Submerge is so huge.
make AJ shuffle away the one guy that was the big threat on his side of the board for the moment. This looks like fetch lands are terrible in Legacy. They can get stifled, and they grab dual lands that get wastelanded. You fetch and you get your guy submerged away. I mean, wow.
That's right.
Really, really scary to play fetch lands. If I were AJ, I'd start cutting the fetch lands out of this deck. Every time I played it in the finals. Luckily, one time he got that Lawan, but he says in with a Dryad Arbor for 3.
3/3 forest creature.
Pithing Needle. Resolves, and come on, point to what your name in there, AJ. What'd you name? I'm sure it was not Island, and it was not Dryad Arbor.
Now we need a confirmation with the second Pithing Needles on Rashad, please.
It may still be on stack with him.
No, he's past the turn.
Did he name Mutable?
Yeah, he pointed at the last thing he named that was on the battlefield, but
Okay,
it was okay.
Mutable. Makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, of course. He pointed at the vial though, so we figured he'd point at the Mutavault too, but guess not. Okay, so
yeah, of course it was Mutavault, but we wanted confirmation.
AJ's down to 5.
We've also seen players name strange things before in the feature matches.
Of course.
AJ in with the Dryad Arbor for 3, so Alex down to 7, AJ down to 5, and AJ does have some chump blockers, but Oof, here comes
Something.
something big. He's tapping 5 to for. Okay.
Okay, he's hard casting it.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, yeah. I forgot it even cost 5
Right.
hard cast, right? Like, I just assume he always has a Merfolk to reveal. There he goes,
Untaps some lands.
untapping an island and drawing a card off of it, off of the Adept. Alright, so
I mean,
AJ trying to make a decision here.
he basically has to chump the, or it looks like he has to chump the Regery. I mean, I guess he could chump either one because neither one is, you know, pumping. But,
71.
Goes to 1. Living in the danger zone here.
pretty intense.
He's gonna brainstorm. Spell pierce for the brainstorm. AJ looks like he's gonna pay it. He's thinking about it anyway.
Okay, so he does go ahead and pay.
Yeah. Seems right. So here's what I think. You know, he's got the 3 chump blockers right now.
Right.
Right. And I think he needs to. He's trying to find an answer, so I think he needs to pay for that brainstorm. Obviously, keep the Dryad Arbor available to jump block. So digging a little bit with the brainstorm gives him more ways to stay in it and hopefully get something out of that brainstorm.
Lord of Atlantis would end the game next turn for sure.
Well, yeah, Alex is certainly in a great position right
yeah.
now.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, AJ basically, I think that was the best, you know, what, he was going to not pay for the Spell Pierce and just, like, leave 2 mana untapped and do nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what was that mana doing there? Just fallow mana.
Right. Just thinking pretty hard about what to,
Yeah, he really, you know, I don't want to comment on what he's got there, but,
Right.
and I'm not entirely sure I'm seeing it all clearly anyway, but we'll let AJ do what he's doing and we'll see how it all plays out on the board.
seems to be very close to making his decision, at least. He's really laboring over this decision, but it's understandable.
Well, he's at 1 life, and
Of course.
He's looking. Oh, he is tapping. He's tapping out. He has a plan. Playing a Green Sun Zenith for 2, right?
What an intense play.
Yeah.
Alex
even
looks shocked.
Even Alex is shocked, right? He's like, "You just tapped all your blockers." You just tapped all your blockers. So
Alex
whatever it is you
positively shocked.
Yeah, Alex doesn't know what he could get. What could he be getting? That would
I can't even imagine. Oh, it's the Scrib Ranger.
Scrib Ranger. It's Pro Blue. Can, let's bring this up again. Scrib Ranger. Pro Blue. Flying. Return a forest you control to its owner's hand. Untap target creature. Activate only once each turn, so...
He returns the Dryad Arbor,
untaps untaps the Noble Hierarch and plays the Dryad
fantastic
Arbor.
play by AJ Sacher.
That was a nice way to keep up blockers, and there's a Submerge for Submerge for a Noble Hierarch. I want this game to go a little further. I mean,
You want to see it develop like a couple more
I
turns,
know,
right?
that was just such a great play.
Such a great play.
Did he
Really
tap it for
strong
mana, I
play.
think? Oh, another Submerge for Dryad Arbor. I don't really think AJ could have really come back after the first one, but
Wasn't enough.
there it is.
But Alex Bertoncini
Takes
is
it down.
StarCityGames.com Legacy Series champion, taking it down in 3 games against AJ Sacher.
With his Merfolk deck.
The Merfolk deck that he has.
He's piloted to a, let's go down the list, 2nd place, 10th place, 13th place, 11th place, 10th place, 8th place, and now 1st place here in Memphis.
Fantastic.